الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد عليه أفضل الصلاة وأزكى التسليم. Dear brothers and sisters everywhere, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today inshallah we're going to resume our reflections on Surah Taha, and we have reached Allah's statement. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إن الساعة آتية أكاد أخفيها لتجزى كل نفس بما تسعى إن الساعة آتية. Verily the hour is coming. It has become established, and there is no getting around it. It will, and it is unavoidable. With the foregoing in mind, accept the fact that the hour will inevitably arrive, and the hour here is the entire universe's lifetime. The ages of humans in the universe vary according to their time. So whoever dies, his resurrection occurs. من مات فقد قامت قيامته. And the issue is resolved for him. So we say there are two kinds of hours. One for each of us, which is one's life and term, and he has no idea when it will come, and when and one for the entire universe, which is the great resurrection. So the Almighty said, إِنَّ السَّاعَةَ آتِيَةٌ. Indeed, the hour is coming, implying that this should be remembered all the time, remembered at all times. And as long as death takes you there quickly, don't say things like, I'll die soon, and the resurrection will be thousands or millions of years later, because time stops after death. And Allah, in His wisdom, kept the hour hidden. He kept it hidden from the individual and from everyone else. Perhaps, if a person knew his hour, he would have said, I do what I want and then repent before death. That's why Allah kept it hidden, so that we wouldn't meet Him while we are disobedient. Similarly, He concealed the great and major hour, so that you do not take what is not yours from Allah's creation and benefit unfairly and aggressively from it. And you are aware that if you steal, Allah will judge you. As long as you return to Allah, do what's right and change your ways. And He's saying, Atiyah, to come, means it will not be brought, because it is the one to come. It is the one to come, the doer, the agent, the doer of the action itself, even though the Almighty Allah is the one who will bring it. But the meaning, Atiyah, is as if it is predetermined automatically, and if its time comes, it will occur. إن الساعة آتية أكاد أخفيها. I am almost hiding it. Except for me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no one knows what time it is. And He's saying, أكاد أخفيها, I almost hid it. That it has become close. Like, كاد زيد أن يأتي. Zayd almost came. That's, he is approaching. He is close, but he hasn't yet arrived. As the Almighty stated, إنما علمها عند ربي لا يجليها لوقتها إلا هو. It's only my Lord's knowledge, and no one can reveal it at its time except He subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is in Surat Al-A'raf. أخفيها, I hid it, may come to mean something else, because some trisyllable verbs have their meaning reversed when the second letter is doubled, as in marida. Marida means or stands for he became ill, and marrada, as in marradahu tabib, he was cured and his illness was removed by the doctor. He was treated by the doctor. Similarly, قشرت الشيء قشرت الشيء I covered the thing with a peel. And قشرت البرتقالة I peeled the orange. I removed its peel. إن الساعة آتية أكاد أخفيها لتجزى كل نفس بما تسعى. That every person may be rewarded for that which he strives. I will be established. It will be established by me, and it is unavoidable. I will undoubtedly reward anyone who acts in accordance with what he did. فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره. So whosoever does good equal to the weight of an atom shall see it. ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. And whosoever does evil equal to the weight of an atom shall see it. If there were no reckoning and recompense in the hereafter, those who transgressed against themselves and rebelled in the world would have fared better than those who follow Allah's method. Therefore, in our discussions with communists, for example, we tell them, you have killed as many of your enemies among the capitalists as you could. So what about those who died and whom you didn't catch? How did they manage to avoid your wrath? It was more appropriate for you to believe in another place where these people couldn't flee and where they would be rewarded. And this is the hereafter, where every soul will be rewarded for its efforts. فلا يصدنك عنها من لا يؤمن بها واتبع هواه فتردى. Therefore, let not divert you let not divert you the one who believes not therein. فلا يصدنك عنها من لا يؤمن بها. As if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects Prophet Musa sallallahu alayhi wasallam from what unbelievers will say who doubt and fear the hereafter, and their goal is to prove the hereafter to be a lie, because the hereafter is not in their favor and denying it is in their best interests. When they direct your attention away from it, be wary of listening to them. Why do they dismiss it and believe it will never exist? Isn't He who created them from nothing capable of resurrecting them after they have decomposed into decayed bones? But why do unbelievers reject the afterlife and their belief in it? This is a difficult issue for them because they know they will be rewarded for their actions, and it is in their best interests for the hereafter to be a lie. As Abu Al-Ala al-Ma'arri says, زعم المنجم والطبيب كلاهما لا تحشر الأجساد قلت إليكما. Both astrologers and doctors claimed bodies are not gathered, so I told them both. إن صح قولكما فلست بخاسر أو صح قولي فالخسار عليكما. If what you say is true, I lose nothing, but if I am right, you both lose. That's a believer in the resurrection will not lose anything if he doesn't gain anything. But you denialists, those who deny the hereafter, those who reject the hereafter and reckoning and accountability, will always be losers. The message is intended for all who are responsible and capable of hearing it. And this means don't follow the way of the person who doesn't believe in the hour, the day of judgment, and he only pursues his desires in this worldly life. He disobeys his Lord and only acts in accordance with his own desires. Anyone who acts in this manner has failed and lost. فَتَرْدَى, lest you purge, that you will be ruined and destroyed. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks Prophet Musa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى, and what is that in your right hand, O Musa? This was a divine sign and a great miracle for Musa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This was something that went above and beyond what was expected. So it was brilliant evidence that only Allah could provide. It also demonstrated that only a prophet sent by Allah could bring such a thing to mankind. According to some tafsir scholars, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only said this to him to draw his attention to it. He only said this to him to confirm for him what was in his hand. It has also been said by some scholars. In other words, what you have in your right hand is a familiar stick or staff. You will see what we are about to do to it now. وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى, and what is that in your right hand, O Musa? This is an interrogative phrase used for confirmation. قال هي عصاي, قال هي عصاي أتوكأ عليها. He said, this is my stick whereon I lean on it as I walk. وأهش بها على غنمي, and wherewith I beat down branches for my sheep. I use it to shake the branches of trees, causing the leaves to fall and be eaten by my sheep. It's when a man places his staff into a branch and shakes it so that its leaves and fruit fall without breaking the stick or the branch. And this is an explanation from Imam Malik rahimahullah. It's not the same as hitting or striking. ولي فيها مآرب أخرى قال هي عصاي أتوكأ عليها وأهش بها على غنمي ولي فيها مآرب أخرى, and wherein I find other uses. And this implies that additional benefits, services, and requirements exist. And some of the scholars talk on the burden many of these obscure uses, and the question was more concerned with the object he was holding than with the uses he had for his staff. Musa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Prophet Musa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, on the other hand, realizes that he wasn't asked to name the object in his hand, but rather to describe what he did with it. And as a result, his response detailed the reasons he used it. He walked with it, beating the trees, leaves until they fell and were eaten by his sheep. I strike the leaves of trees with my staff, causing them to fall to the ground and be eaten by my sheep and cattle. And because the shepherd walks the sheep through the desert, they eat grass, a natural plant that has never been cultivated and is only watered by rain. And if the grass dies, the shepherd goes to the tall trees and beats the leaves with a stick until they fall to be eaten by the sheep. Prophet Musa worked as a sheep herder for his father-in-law, and in addition, he was said to have received a number of sheep as his share. Furthermore, he had other uses for his staff, which he refers to in general without going into specifics because his previous statements indicate them. Prophet Musa sallallahu alaihi wasallam understand that Allah Almighty is the one who asks, and what he holds in his hand is not hidden from him, but it's words of comfort and relief, because his situation is difficult and his Lord wants to reassure and comfort. And if the relief and comfort come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the servant should seize the opportunity to extend the period of intimacy with Allah Almighty, rather than cutting off the conversation or communication with a single word. قال هي عصاي أتوكأ عليها. It's my staff on which I can lean. Prophet Musa sallallahu alayhi wasallam responded. According to some scholars, Prophet Musa waited for his Lord to ask him about these goals in order to continue the conversation with him. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't ask him because he would redirect his attention to something more important than the issue of the stick. So, O Musa, you mentioned the stick's task with you, but I would like to tell you about its task with me, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is what we're gonna discuss next time, inshallah. Here we come to the end of this episode. Until we meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.